You. Um, but what did he say? He said, and the black women who wear the weave, what did he say? What did he say? I'm trying to think what he said. He said, you wear the weave because, what was it? Because you don't love yourself. You don't love what you see beneath the weave, your real stuff and natural stuff. And I'm like, that's like the first part of it. And then when you realize you do love yourself, or when you start to understand no matter what, you can look just as good as you think you can, then you wear weave again. Now it's a whole different story. So I get
I think he was mainly talking about the European styles. Yeah, like the straight hair.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying that I agree with him on one extent. But like how I have it in now, it's on a conscious level versus when before it wasn't. I really that what he was saying did apply. Now it doesn't, you know. But I thought he was so funny, and then he said, where have y'all been at? Y'all been twerking y'all life away? I was like, hell yeah, they have.
I like Pharaoh because
I don't, but it resonates.
I know you don't.
Girl, it took everything in me to listen. I'm like, oh, okay. If you listen to this other person, you can listen to him. And then he kept saying, he sound like he was saying my nephew's name. He sound like you, like Kendrick. And he was like, but he don't, but he do. And I'm like, that's why I don't like him, because he's talking to a teenager. And I'm just like,
I think he's younger though.
Huh?
He's younger.
I get it, but he's not a teenager. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's my thing, is he's talking like he's one of these teenage, like my nephew teenager. And it's like, who do you think you're talking to? That's what you want to say, but I get it. But when he said you've been twerking your life away, I was like,
but that's what they're doing. He was like,
get off Tory Lanez.
And he's right. Because that's why he said get off Tory Lanez live. Because
I was like, who the fuck is Tory Lanez? That's what I was thinking.
Jake,
I still haven't looked it up.
Wow, Tory Lanez, you know his songs. If you hear his songs, you'll probably be like, oh, okay, I've heard that before.
Sing one.
Because he's like, it's like Caribbean-ish.
Oh, so he's a singer.
Yes, he's an artist. Okay. But he goes live every day, I believe.
Hey,
and all these little women get on there and twerk for him.
So if I was twerking, didn't know who he was. But but that's not what I do all day. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding.
Nothing's wrong with twerking. It goes back to our ancestors. But it's time and place. It's time and place. And right now, I just feel like right now, I think we just need to understand there should be a balance between taking this seriously and making precautions, and then just still being present and being free flowing with, our family, our loved ones, and things like that.
Definitely. Yep. That's how I feel about it too. Yeah, Zaya agrees.
Thank you for your insight, babe. How do you feel about what he was saying with the whole 5G stuff?
So, of course, I don't feel like anything is far-fetched. I feel like that makes a lot of sense, but I feel like it works differently in my head, how I thought about it. Because I thought about the same thing, too. I thought about the same thing, too, but the way I thought of it was kind of like those, what do you call them, nanobites? So when I look at them, I guess it's called nanobites. But what I look at it as is little piece of metal, computerized metal. That's how I always thought of it. But I felt like that's what the vaccines are about, because people say all the time how it's, this much mercury, and mercury is so poisonous, but they have them in our vaccines for our children. And like they banned, I forget what it was they banned something because it had a mercury level of like, it was an amount. It was like 200 something. It was like parts per parts or something. It was some kind of amount. But then a vaccine has over 500 parts per particle or something like that. So it was way more than the thing that they just banned because it was too much mercury in it.
Yeah.
They allow more mercury than that inside of one vaccine. And so I felt like those have already been in people from the vaccine. And so whenever they activate, I feel like this was something that was activated. I never connected it as 5G being something to bring it about, but activated still. But I feel like it was already in people was already in their vaccines, already inserted in them. And so with him saying that they are doing this, I guess, to me it's in reverse because I feel like it was already in us. But he's saying, well, he kind of said it too. He said through food. I'm thinking through vaccines. He said through food is how they put metal inside of you. But he also said that
our toothpaste, our water, our toothpaste.
Yes, your water, your toothpaste, however you're getting it into your body. He also said that what was he? I'm losing track of what I was saying. He was saying, oh, he said that they're putting it inside. It's on the test already. You'll get the COVID test, right? And so that's what I wasn't thinking of. That basically, if they're activating it and it hasn't hit you yet, they're just upping it. They're upping it. If they're putting it in you when you're taking the test, they're trying to make sure that they for sure got you. So, I'm with it. I feel like it makes sense.
I was thinking about the whole like taking the test, and something about taking the test just made it was just fishy to me.
Ridiculous. How do they know already this fast? If how to make something to detect if you have it.
Right. So to me that I didn't like have like a full. This is why they're doing it, like mindset, but I just knew in my spirit it felt wrong.
Exactly.
Even though I was telling certain people to go, I was like, go get that test before you go into my house.
I hope they listen to you.
I had to text them like, I was just playing. Don't do that.
See, I just know it didn't feel right. Remember I was telling you I saw it like when I was leaving my sister's house, and I just had to call her, and I was like it looked crazy. It looked real crazy just to see it like in an abandoned Walgreens parking lot like that. Real crazy.
And it was Walgreens.
Huh?
And it was an abandoned Walgreens.
Abandoned Walgreens. It looked like a scene out of the movies that I'd be watching, right? Because I'm a Walking Dead fan. So like these kind of scenes, and it almost makes it normal when you see it because you're used to seeing it on TV, but nothing about it is normal at all.
Right, because that's what they do. They make it like, oh, this is just the movies. This isn't something that's really happening. It's so far fetched from reality. And then when it comes to reality, we're like, oh,
yeah,
I remember this. This happened somewhere. But for me, I battle between like wondering. So I watched this video today, and it was basically talking about. It has nothing to do with Corona, but it was basically talking about how everything is in divine order, numerically, mathematically, geometrically, like us and the stars and the planets.
So perfectly.
Us and the stars and the planets, and how certain things happen on Earth because of how we're aligned with the sun and the moon, and how the numbers. I can't remember what numbers they were talking about, but how they specifically go to 9. Like no number surpass 9 when you break them down.
No, they don't. I was just thinking of that. Yeah.
Numerology, right? And that's
I was adding up. I'm sorry. I was adding up the date when I was writing it in from my webinar, and I noticed what number it was, and I was like, okay. And then I was thinking how it took me so long to catch on to that little trick that no matter what you add the numbers to, it's going to come down to one singular number, like period. And that's where the past come from. And so, I think it was a 7 for it today.
Okay, which is spiritual day. So I'm watching this video, and they're talking about, how the Earth, like each one of the planets in the solar system, even though, they argue that they're more than 7 and they're 9, but then there's also arguments that there's 7 chakras, they're 9. So
there's way more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they all align with or 14, I've heard that argument.
I've heard way more than 14.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I ain't got time. But I'm still trying to grasp the 7. So y'all know about this.
I know that's right. Me too.
So they were talking about how each planet is the same color as the color of the chakra system, and how like Earth is red, and which
Earth is what?
red.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's root chakra. But I was two things I want to say. But the first thing is like, at first sometimes I got with like, why are people so evil on this planet? Like, is this one of the most? Is this like a lower vibrational place? Because if I'm living on, well, I mean, Earth is the third planet away from the sun, which is interesting that it's red.
I was wondering. I never heard that it was red. So I just haven't. So, but I'm
like
not.
Once all the water is gone from Earth, the dirt.
Oh, the dirt is red. Yeah.
Red.
Yeah, you dig deep enough, you'll find red soil. Huh?
The dirt is brown here.
That's because they say you have to dig deep enough because remember they asked you that question, so what is real? Are you even really eating an apple? You know, they ask things like that because things have been compromised so much and messed with so much, manipulated so much that you don't even know what it really is anymore, because they say if you dig deep enough that the water has been tampered with, the grass has been tampered with, nature has been tampered with, and if you dig down deep enough, you'll see that the soil is really red, and that's actually the good soil that's going to help you to have healthier, vegetation and things like that. But people don't, we don't know that. We've never seen that. Even the color of eggs are different. Somebody said they went to Dubai. When they went there, they were freaked out because the egg was orange. I think they said it was orange. And she was freaked out by it, but then somebody in Dubai told her, like, this is how an egg is supposed to be. But saying that where we are from, we eat eggs that have been depleted of nutritional value, so it looks a whole different color. When you look that up, it's actually true.
Wow.
So, but I'm sorry. So you were saying that it was the third planet from the sun. It's red, and that was trippy to you because
it just makes me question, like, why, like, are we? Well, for one, it seems like we're living in one of the lower vibrational planets, and it just, whenever I hear about all these things, the New World Order, all these the people of power, Bill Gates, and all of that, it just makes me question, like, why are people so evil? But why do they want to take away our free will on this planet? But obviously that's like a question with multiple layers, and as life unfolds, there will be multiple answers revealed to me. But the first step is to ask the question.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was saying earlier. You ask the question, and then it like bounces back to you eventually. Like you don't even need to really think of an answer for right now, but just put it out there, you'll get it.
Right. And then a part of me don't want to even look at it from that angle, because we do have free will. And then there's another question that's proposed, like why is it so important to remove our power? What do we not know about our power that they do?
A lot, yeah. The secrets, right?
Exactly. So I think Pharaoh is definitely onto something, as usual. I feel like Pharaoh is definitely like on point as usual. With his I think he's on point.
I ain't say nothing.
I just feel like his delivery just needs to be a little polished.
I'm not disagreeing. I didn't say I might have made a face, but I kept most of my judgment aside. I don't feel like he's wrong. I feel like he like I said about the conscious community. I'm sorry, I said it to myself. I didn't say it to you. I told you I wanted to call you, but I didn't. I just made videos. But anyway, what I was saying to myself is that what I'm starting to realize is that certain things certain things I resonate with, certain things I don't within the conscious community.
Right.
I am not the person who appreciates it when there's arguments within the conscious community, because then I feel like who needs to get kicked off because y'all know better, and if you don't, then that just shows that you're not yet there. Back off for a while until you can come back to this with understanding, so with awareness. So I'm not one to say that that person didn't hold any truth. I definitely like Pharaoh as far as what he has to say. Most of what he said resonated with me. And the other person I had you watching or the Brother Panic.
Right.
I can stand Pharaoh. He irritates me a little bit because he talks like a teenager. But I guess he could reach the teenagers talking like that too. But he talks like that, so that's what kind of moves me away from him. But the things he say, I'm not that he's. I get it. I get the things that he says. Brother Panic, on the other hand, he has a way of breaking things down so perfectly for people, where that's why I like to watch him. But I only resonate certain things with him, and other times I really can't connect because he talks so vulgar. He talks about sex. He cusses a lot. He calls women bitches and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm past the point where I'm defending women, but my thing is like I have to constantly talk to myself while I'm looking at his videos to make my conscious aware of what's trying to be downloaded into my subconscious when he's saying things like this. So I'm like always back. It's hard for me to watch movies. It's hard for me to listen to songs and just let it flow through me. I'm always trying to see what is being said. I can't even read a book without me thinking about what it says to my subconscious mind. So it's easier for me to listen to Pharaoh with less talk to myself versus listening to Panic. So Pharaoh, I like him too. I just made a face because you know how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think the conscious community, we're here to bounce ideas off of each other. And
you said they what?
We're here to like bounce ideas off of each other to spark like new awareness within ourselves that resonates with us personally. But even like in the conscious community, it's similar to like when you see a pastor that, got busted for money laundering or something like that. Like, I feel like everybody, no matter how high you get in consciousness, you still have a human side or else you wouldn't be here.
And so that's what I was trying to get at. What I said my video was about to myself. So you know how to get me back on track. Okay, so what I was gonna say about what I said on my video to myself was that I'm starting to realize that the reason why I don't resonate with one person all the time, like how I said, we resurface back to Ralph and then back to whatever, like it comes and goes. And that's because I'm realizing that my path, for however many times I came back here, or if I chose to come back or whatever, because so many people say like, as soon as I leave, I'm not coming back. Okay, yeah, but some people probably say that and then get there and be like, all right, I'm gonna go back, whatever. You don't know. But everybody who's here right now isn't here right now because they never ascended. Right. Some people are here right now because they've done that. So I feel like, honestly, that I'm one of the ones, and not just me, but that didn't say it. She said it. Go ahead, say it, girl. Go ahead, say it. You felt special, Ralph.
You can say it. Ralph say he Jesus.
I ain't going.
Chosen one.
I hear him. Yes. What they say is chosen one, sorry, seed. Whatever special names you have for you guys. Those who are divinely awakened. I feel like those who are divinely awakened. That we're all here for different reasons, is what I was trying to say. But those who have, but everybody when they get back here, they're forgetting. They're forgetful too. So it's about how quickly you are able to catch on and get back to source, basically, and try to do it within your lifetime. And I feel like we've gotten shifted that much closer to that lifeline. But I'll forget why I was saying this. What did you say?
I was conscious people to reflect back certain things that will spark our own awareness.
So when we come back here, our paths are when we come back here, some of our paths are completely different from what the other person took. So Brother Panic can be talking on the path that he's taken, which is completely different from mine. When I came, I learned my lessons like this. And so even though we're here, we're not really here all the time, so mine is completely different from his, which is why it's not resonating, because what he's here to gain enlightenment about, either A, I already did, or B, that was never my mission in the first place. I never came across that. Or C, it's something yet to be. So I don't know if it's my past, future, or my present, or something that didn't exist at all. And so I had to look at these. I'm starting to realize to look at even our friendship. And I said because I could not call you because you went on your phone fast. So I was forced to write in my journal. When I did that, I said you need to do that some more anyway. So I started doing that some more. And then I realized that some of these things I felt I could talk to you about, I'm like, some of it's for me. Like, you aren't going to be able to resonate with that even with you being my friend who I can talk to spiritually. It's still a good thing because I can talk to you and get, that stuff off to me. But still, you're not going to resonate with everything, just like I'm not going to with you. You came here for certain reasons. I came here for certain reasons. So I say it to say we are never supposed to just stop and have one person you follow or follow them all the time. There's supposed to be something to throw us off of that or to make us go our own route if we are seeking the true enlightenment that we have. We're not going to always have a conscious community or somebody who we feel we can look up to. It's going to be something that takes us off of their path and puts you back on yours. It's like they're here only for a certain amount of time in your life for you to learn from them, or see if that you're going to wave in and out to see where your awareness is and what path you need to go on to follow, and it's going to be different for the next person. So that's what we're seeing right now, that as we're all coming closer to our higher self, so we can be a part of what we're, so we can be a part of the universe, so we can return back to source. As we're coming closer to that, we're all getting closer to our mission, so we're seeing things in slightly different ways.
Right.
And some of those realities will become others' realities because that's what they're here for. They're here for those paths, people on those paths, or souls on those paths, and some of us won't have that experience. Right. I hope I explained it, but that's what I was trying to say.
I think we have to see things in different ways, because we all have a different purpose, and that's a part of our purpose.
We all have a different purpose, and to be omnipresent, what that even means is that you're fragmented because you're seeing different things at the same time from different views. And so if we are God, if we are one with God, we are going to have that within ourselves too.
Right. What's coming up for me as you were talking was yes, the interaction between the chakras itself, the relationship between the chakras. How there is energy within the chakras that also go out. They meet up, separate. They meet up, they separate. And it's kind of that's, to me, represents how our relationship is too with other people, with people in our lives that we choose to have. Friendships are going to have points where they meet. They're going to have points when they separate. Your relationship is going to have points where you meet, points where you separate. And that's just right. And that's just to reiterate that as much as you would like to think that you are exactly the same as somebody because you have a lot of things in common with them, you're still your own individual person with your own individual path that you have to take and your own struggles that you have to overcome for your own awareness on this time. So that's just something that, as you were speaking, that's all I kept seeing was I forgot what the name of these energies are, but that's all I keep seeing is the twist in the connection, and the twist in the connection between our chakras to display the relationship between them. It's the relationship that we have with everyone. So how I was telling you, well, I started with Ralph, and then I jumped to Teal, and then I jumped to this, jumped to that, and at certain times in my journey, I'm gonna resonate with someone, and that's gonna be the message that I need to take me to my next level of my own expansion.
Yeah, so, you remind me of what I was saying earlier about the black hair journey. When I first started waking up, I needed to hear that. So I was listening to people who would talk about what was it? I was listening to different things, but what was coming to me was that Black people need to basically unlearn the history that they were taught. Okay. And so once I started doing that, I started to realize how we were kind of played into thinking that something was wrong with our hair, and started wanting to have hair that looked like someone else, or that now became our standard of beauty. But it's funny because when I look back at old slave movies and stuff like that, or like olden day movies, I would say, "Ooh, my hair would be raw if it looked like that." And it was all the older styles. But nowadays, nobody's doing it. But I can actually do my natural hair like that, like those styles easily. And I'm like, oh, that was a problem. It was too straight, But what am I saying though? So I had to that. So when I first started waking up, I realized my first thing I had to learn was my history. I had to seriously learn it, and once I started reading that, then that sparked a change in me, where it became the whole Black pride, that type of thing, the race thing, the big elephant in the room. That's the first thing I tackled, and then once I got to the point where, because I love me, period, but obviously I don't know if I love myself and my hair because I hadn't tried it. And so then when I tried it, I got to the point where I love myself no matter what. And then I can go back to doing my styles I like or I want whenever I want them, because it's not like I love myself any less. But then, so now not that I don't resonate. I'm past that part of my awareness, my consciousness, where I'm focusing on other things. And so some people, when I need either reminders or wherever they're at is now where I'm at too, then that's when we can mesh well and things will resonate. So I'm starting to really like pay attention to stuff like that.
Right. And you know what came up for me when you were saying that? Not even when you were saying that, but like in general, I feel like we create these egos every time we take on a new identity. And even when you say, oh, I'm a part of the spiritual community now, I'm woke, I'm conscious now, we now are creating a whole new ego that's going to have a whole new image, and we got to look a certain way. So I can't step into a place and say I'm a spiritual coach and I ain't got no head wrap on, and I don't have, and I'm not smoking weed, and I'm not, like all these things that a lot of people connect to spirituality. So you got to look the part if you're saying that too. And I think I had to get over that with myself. Like, just because I'm spiritual don't mean that I have to look like this and act like that. That don't mean I can't get my nails done if I enjoy getting my nails done. That don't mean I can't,
get my nails done.
Enjoy a pizza if I want to slice a pizza, and those are I had like so much rigid restriction, and then I stopped being fluid with life because I was so judgmental on myself, because I created this image that I had to look up to because of my new ego.
And that's when it starts to get boring.
It does get boring, and you do become. But like, I mean, with the whole hair journey, I always tell people that was the hardest journey for me myself, because
that was the what?
The hardest journey for me. I still struggle with my hair, and then because it's like nothing like I was like, okay, I can rock the wigs, but the wigs don't resonate with me, and I'm just gonna be honest. And then I tried to rock some braids.
Be cute.
I tried to put some braids in, but then the braids was too heavy, and I felt like I was damaging my hair. My hair wasn't free. I'm so used to having free, like when you have locks, it's like the most freest look that you can have, and the feeling and the maintenance, and it's just easy. So then when you get to manipulating your hair again, yeah, it is painful. So I'm like, I spent 3 days on braids in only to take them out, because I'm like, this is uncomfortable and I refuse, and things are itchy and all of this. So I'm just like, you know what? I got to go back to my lock journey, because.
So it sounds like when you put dreads in your hair, you allow the feeling to come back to your hair.
Locks.
That's why I said dreads. Sorry, dreads. You allow the feeling to come back to your hair. So then after, if there's anything after that, your hair, you feel more, so it's irritating you more.
Probably. It's just, I'm just trying to find my way again when it comes to my hair journey. And it's like, everything that I try is just not resonating with me. Even though I love styles, I love versatility, I do hair myself. But it's like, why every time I try something new, I'm looking like, this still ain't it. This still isn't it. So now I'm just like finally about to give in And it's funny because you know how I was talking to you, you're like, you always say this, you always say this, you always say this. It's like, I don't know why. This is also something that I've always wanted, but I don't know, I always go around things and then I end up back at square one instead of like, you know.
Like you got to convince yourself.
Like for years though. So now I'm back to the place where I'm like, yeah. And I'm not even gonna lie, my natural hair is gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of patience. It's gonna take a lot of learning it and all of that. And I'm just not willing to spend that much time on just my hair. I'm sorry.
You sound like me.
That's ridiculous.
That's me with nails.
I have very strong hair, so it's thick, like extremely thick, and it eats up moisture like nothing. Like there is unless it's wet, my hair is just like not just dry, and I'm just like, I'm really gonna have to spend, like, I locked it up and cut it off because I spent 45 minutes for a puff. What? Just so the puff could look cute. So I'm just personally, I don't have it. I'd rather spend my time doing other things, especially because I have a child now. So back to the lock. I'm just gonna lock it back up and enjoy that journey and stick with it and gain all the knowledge that I can get from that. So
good for you.
Still one that I'm trying to figure out too, and figure out what resonates with me. But you know, we all gotta just, like you said, just be on our own journey. When you got to the place where you were comfortable, you were able to rock the styles that fit you now, and now your styles are more aligned with the natural African look, in opposed to like the European styles.
It is.
It is. It's not straight.
Good. Oh, okay, good. Well, what you're saying is important too for people on the journey, because I sat back and I listened to a lot of my videos. That's what so the same way I listen to like other people, I really go back and listen to myself too, because like I said before, you're like, oh well, since we're teachers, spiritual teachers or healers, we're supposed to be on our mission way more right now. And I said, forget that. Like I feel like go see what I had been trying to say a long time ago to everybody, you know. So now stop acting like it's on us. It's not. And that's what we have been. People think we think that or we want that. We don't. So it's not now either. So go back and listen and see what it is we were trying to say, or learn something new, or see if it's true, debate it, whatever you want to do with it. But I'm not, we don't have to redo anything or keep it going like that. But anyway, I was listening to one of my old videos and I was mentioning how one of the things that got me started on my path was when I felt this urge to, like, I guess either being bored or feeling like something I need to transition now. I used to do my hair something different all the time, whether I cut it, dyed it, something. I did something that I never did to my hair before to my hair, or I did something to my body, like something physically, like get a piercing, get a tattoo, something. I was doing something new to myself. And then this time in particular, I was like, okay, I already told myself I wasn't cutting my hair no more. And last time I dyed it, it like broke off. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing much like that with my hair anymore. Then I was like, I got all the piercings I'm willing to get right now. And then it was like, what tattoo? So basically, I just really sat with it instead of just doing something just to get it out of my body, you know, the energy I was feeling. And that transformed me into me getting on my spiritual path. So hair is important because it's something that we can change often, huh?
It's very important.
Yeah, it's something we can change often, something we do, especially as Black people. Like I was watching this show called Black Lightning, and literally almost every other scene, the girls have their hair different. And it's like, that's what we do. But I mean, dang, this supposed to be one day. Why y'all got her, you know, in 3 different hairstyles?
I know.
But
that's how we are though.
That is how we are.
Versatility.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
We have that versatility, and that's
yeah. And my sister was saying that too. She had said, girl, I had sent her this video of this guy dancing like to all the different songs through the 90s and through the 80s, all the way up to like now. And what it said was basically that Black culture is American culture. Like, little do we know. And my sister, the first thing she replied on wasn't even the dances. It was, she said, yeah, our culture is American culture. So much so where they're trying to mask what it means to be Black by calling it urban. And guess who the face of urban people are? Kim Kardashian. And they're the ones who took our look. They tried to get plastic surgery and stuff to look like us, but now it's going to be messed up in the history books, calling us urban, referring to somebody lighter skin like her. And I said, I know that's right. So then it takes you back, like I said, in my history journey, when I realized that's exactly what they did. They would change the color of things that were clearly us to make represent something lighter so we can misidentify. And so I forget why I was saying this. But so anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. It'll come to me. I don't know why I was even talking about it.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
They that family definitely has an obsession with Black people and Black culture. But again, like that just goes to show our power. Mm-hmm. It's something great that makes us like. Let me try to get this saying. You never see a threat in something that you don't also see the power in.
Exactly.
And so I feel like since we have been the target, we have so much power, but we also are not understanding. Like, we don't understand our own power. And that goes back to the coronavirus stuff, right? Like, oh, so many Black people in Chicago are dying, Black people. Then hold on the hottest day yesterday, right? The hottest day where people was just like, man, F the corona, F quarantine, I'm going outside, I'm doing this. Oh, that was the day where the most amount of people died from the coronavirus. I'm just like, what? So y'all just trying to make us scared so that we never go outside, especially when these hot days are coming up? Oh, I'm going for a run.
So yeah, that's in the house, Black people.
I'm like,
don't activate that melanin.
And you got to think like cities like Chicago, New York, where I do feel like the Black community is extremely strong. Mm-hmm. You know, the Black community is extreme. We running out of time.
No, we ain't got no time limit right now.
Oh, okay. But I feel like when the Black communities are really strong, I think that's why, like, I feel like New York and Chicago has a lot of power when it comes to the Black community. And I feel like they're trying to scare us. Granted, yes, we do have a lot of food-related illnesses. And with that, like, you know, like I saw somebody, like I go on, sometimes I hate Facebook because, oh, it's okay, babe. You just got
a lot of times I hate Facebook.
Because I see the people like, you know, posting RIP this, Corona, RIP this, Corona. And I'm noticing a lot of those people are either older or overweight. But I'm saying like it's like they have food-related illnesses or pre-existing health conditions. But I do feel like what Pharaoh was saying, like these numbers can't be real. Like, I just don't believe that all the numbers are real. I feel like there's hype around it. I feel like the flu deaths and cold deaths are more. And I know I can't really say feel because people want to see numbers and stats and all of that. And there are numbers out there. I just haven't done the research because that's just not what I care to research about.
I've done the research. And here's what I've concluded. That exactly what you say is 100% right, because even with so first of all, I was listening to a doctor speaking. What she was saying is that there's no category on your death certificate, on a person's death certificate, that says death by doctor. And that there are so many mistakes that doctors make that actually killed them or killed the patient. And so it actually kills the patient, but the patient doesn't, but there's no option for them to say that it was a death by doctor. So it has to go down as something, whether it's heart disease or stroke or something. It has to go down as something because it has to go into the, okay, 1 second.
Because I keep frightening him with our conversation. But okay, it has to go down as something.
it has to go down as something, but they never give you the option of like death by doctor. So you already see right there how many things are, how much of the stats are flawed when you don't even have all the possible ways somebody can pass away to calculate what it is from. Okay, so that's one. But for two, if you want to talk about stats and numbers, right now, one of the most pressing things for some reason is what alongside the corona is that they want you to do your census. So keep that in mind because if you got to do your census, that means they don't even know right now how many people are actually alive, how many people are in what region or whatever. So when they're coming up with these stats and these numbers, understand another thing is that Black people outnumber any other race in the world. Okay, and so even in these are facts. So they outnumber any race in the world. They so in any given spot, unless it's somewhere that's just only for white people or people who aren't Black, some places really are like that. But for most of the other places, the number of Black people is going to be more. So if you take these stats they're given, first of all, the numbers are wrong because you have to a true stat is based on one as a whole, meaning everybody being calculated of that race, everybody of the whole entire, like anything. So the whole thing, the whole sample is one. But they don't. What they do is they gather up let's say they're going to say we're out of 200 people, they're going to do this study or whatever. So, but they represent it as if they multiply it and stuff as if it's for the whole, but they still don't even know what number that is. So stats are always going to be messed up, for one. And then for two, it's going to always seem disproportionately Black because there's more of us. And so if you gather up 200 random people, most of them are going to be people of color or Black or have some Black in them in some kind of way, shape, or form. So the stats are completely messed up. And then they tell you that so first they were saying that it was happening in China and in Italy and things like that. And we don't typically see Black people. We're not represented there in the news.
Right.
Like that. And so now, when Black people started gloating like, oh, it ain't us. We ain't got it. We can't get it. They want to show us, oh, yes, you can. So that's what they're going to throw at us right now because we was acting like we couldn't get it. And so they want to show us we can. And on top of that, it likes you even better. Now all of a sudden it like us better. But before, when it was in China and Italy, go ahead.
No. I mean, you're absolutely right. And I just would like to see, like, this isn't stuff that I've researched because, again, I'm in a space of ambiguity with it. Dig too deep because that's just, like, what am I going to do with that? For me. I was like,
you're going to tell somebody else, see, this is why.
I actually be on. But one, I do, like, they were like, more people died yesterday than they did ever in China on one day. Okay, I don't even look into that. But I know that a lot of the deaths are in the medical field. And I do know that there are a lot of Black people. I would love to know how many, like the percentage of Black folks that are in the medical field, especially here. And I know that they have these wards and they are sending people to them. So how many of them are Black that they're assigning to the floors where there are corona victims and corona people that are healing from corona? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many questions to ask that we're just not asking. And I just see people just taking the information like, oh, well, they said, it's like, but are you asking questions? Like don't just take everything at face value. Just like, okay, I was telling my cousin, like the liquor store is considered an essential business at this time.
Girl.
Because they cannot deal with corona victims and alcoholism withdrawals. And he was like, what? No, they said that. They don't have to say that. The liquor store is open.
And Dunkin' Donuts, caffeine addiction.
Wow.
And we said, my husband said, even Starbucks is closed, but Dunkin' Donuts get to stay open. And we watched this one show, it's called Flash, and they have this main cafe there, and their cafe is called CC Jitters. And they were showing how they were just open. They were the first people open after the crisis that was on Earth. So it's funny because it aligns to like what's happening right now, which is why I say if you're going to watch TV, stay woke during your program, see what's being said. But it says CC Jitters. And my husband was like, see, that's Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, "It sure is."
Open. I didn't know that Starbucks was closed.
Yeah, but why? I hear Starbucks is closed. I haven't. I don't go to Starbucks, so
All
no
I know
security.
is I
I
mean,
know Dunkin' Donuts open.
somebody
Huh?
had at the Starbucks here
Somebody what?
had the coronavirus at the Starbucks.
So maybe that's why it got closed. Then. But America runs on Dunkin', right? Yeah, they knew that. They could not stop the coffee,
That
even though you
is
could
the
do it at your house. Huh?
right. I said that is the phrase, but well, American run on Duncan. But right, but it's crazy because all of the addictions is also coming to light because even while you're under quarantine, it's like, okay, what do I need to survive? Do you have a people addiction where you still throwing house parties at Airbnbs and kickbacks because you just have to be around people? Do you have a club addiction where you just need to go to the club? You have to go to the club. You have to go out. Do you have an alcohol addiction where you still got to be at the liquor store no matter what? Do you have a food addiction where you just lock yourself up in the house and you're just eating food all day? Like, I feel like every single addiction is starting to surface right now.
And you know what? That goes along with a thought I had, which is about how every um addiction you just mentioned right there ties in with a sense of some sort when you're sensitive. And so, in which ways are you overstimulated, right? So, when it comes to, needing to be around people, you're overstimulated with that connection between that energy you feel, like, I guess, feeling that you get from other people versus when you're by yourself, that all kind of like tones down and um, is diffused to you differently. And even people who are eating too much, it goes through their taste buds. They are overstimulating their taste sense. They need to, if they balance that out, they come more in tune with themselves and are able to level up in a different kind of way. Like basically just seeing what's showing up for people because it's saying something about how their senses and what they're feeling or not allowing themselves to feel too much or too little of to get in balance. Because it really is about feelings. Like when the other girl was talking earlier, and she was saying like how like the feelings were hitting her. I really could see like a wave of feelings like hitting somebody or going through them because that's how powerful this is right now. It's making you feel.
Turkey.
Huh?
Cold turkey.
Mhm.
Some people are really suffering.
Mhm. Like you said, it makes you realize what you can't live without.
One of the things that resonated with me the most was I saw this thing that said, dang, when you wake up and realize that your regular lifestyle is called quarantine. And that hit me. That resonated with me because I usually do be in the house. I do enjoy being in the house. I do find things to do. Like I've never just been, I was like, I ain't bored. Like,
Right.
I don't know. That's just never been me. I have a bookshelf full of books and I do enjoy reading. I like to play music and just dance. I like to cook. I feel like there's endless amount of things that I can do in the house. But I guess people aren't used to being present. And I think that's just really what it is. Like,
that's exactly. 1 second, okay? Gotta check on my phone.
My son over there snoring. You okay, Clark? You okay, Clark?
Okay. Raiden said good night.
Good night, Raiden. I'm gonna say good night in a little too. So I get some rest.
Good night.
In a little.
Okay.
Good night is a greeting in Jamaica.
Oh, so the party just gets started?
It's like hi. You know how you say good morning?
Mm-hmm.
Good night is the same. You say like a good morning.
How do you say it how do you say good night then? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's the same good night, but like say like calling my mom's phone and she says hello, you say hello, good night.
Oh, got
How
it.
are you? I know it got me and my friends. It got my friends cursed out all through high school. Your friends don't say goodnight. I'm like, man, you gotta call say goodnight. It's like, but I'm not going to bed. You just gotta call and say goodnight. You know, coach. But these are some interesting times. And I was just telling my cousin, like, I guess we're gonna be telling our grandkids about this pandemic one day. Like this happens. And then everyone's like, I feel like everyone's looking for an answer that's definite. Like, you know how long you think this gonna last for? And I was like, oh, it lasts 4 months in China, but I heard it's coming back, you think they're gonna open this back up? You think we're gonna be able to have this party? You think we're gonna, and it's kind of like, I don't know what they planning on doing. I know that they said this world ain't never gonna be the same after this, and I always like that too, because my cousin's like, you think they're gonna open up the water parks? We're gonna be able to go to water parks this summer? And then that just clicked to me, like, dang, do I even want to be in?
That's what I was gonna say. Why would you want to?
Right, like, would I even want to say, like, would I ever want to go back to Six Flags? Would I ever want to go to a water park? Would I ever want to go back to a club? All these things where there's like a large gathering of people. It makes you question, like, do you ever want to even go back to that? I'm just interested to see what America turns into after this.
I heard that some of the schools are planning on opening next year, couple days e-learning, couple days physical school. So basically like part-time homeschooling, part-time school. I mean, don't know how people will adjust.
I don't know how that's gonna work with parents that go.
Me
My battery died on my light.
Oh no.
Well,
No.
my mom stole my port, so my battery actually died. My it's okay. You can still see me.
I can still see you.
But
I just realized I haven't seen you in so long.
It's been Raiden's birthday.
Yeah, I was like a month ago.
It has
Over
been
a month ago. Yeah.
So you plan on moving to the city?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
We just talk a lot, so I feel like we seen each other. We haven't. When you talked about my hair color, I was like, girl, it's old, but you ain't seen me in a while.
I mean, I saw the videos.
Oh, I know, but I mean, the fact that we haven't even talked about, like, you didn't know this was my hair. Like, this is old. But I realized that's what made me realize we didn't talk to each other or see each other in a long time. That's what I mean.
I forgot what else I was gonna say to you.
Not bad.
No worries. It'll come back. But I'm just interested to see what's gonna happen after this.
That's what you were saying.
Interested.
Everybody wanted a definite answer. That's what you said.
Everyone wants a definite answer. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to even plan with these bills. But it's so crazy because I'm not in a space of worry.
Me either.
And I feel like I'm more worrisome before this.
Ah, that's interesting.
And I feel a sense of security now. I don't know. Maybe because I have more clarity on where I want to be, on what I want to be through this, and I've made those steps, and that's probably giving me more security. But it's just kind of like, I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It does almost feel more reassuring. And I think for me, when you said that, it clicked with me that was my truth as well. And a reason for that that's coming up for me is that I knew you have this feeling that what you're doing is important. And like me and you talk to each other all the time about how this is important, people need this. You're here for a reason. You have your gift. Keep sharing it. We do that encouragement to each other a lot. And it's kind of like validation from all this is that absolutely, like you feel the alignment of it all with what you have been doing, the way you've been being, how you've been showing up in your
Right.
life. So, you're right. It almost takes away the word because it's like everything you've been feeling is coming. Everything that's been feeling makes this kind of stuff important. Like the difference between why you should not want to walk around sleep, even though you have that choice, why you don't want to take the blue pill, why you want to take the red pill. So for reasons like this, that it was
Right.
worth it.
Right. And I feel like now we can be more properly equipped. Like we said, for school, homeschooling, that might be, people might have to think about homeschool options going forward, or smaller classroom setting. Your business, your future business, what are you going into? Do you have a job, or do you want to work in a medical field where you got to be exposed to stuff like this and you got a family? Or do you want to take another route? Is your job equipped to where you don't have to go to work, but you'll still have a job or a career? Like I think everybody is starting to just like, I feel like a lot of loose ends is going to be tightened after this.
Things you take for granted. Yeah. Even like you said, huh?
I said things we take for granted. So like when guys definitely get together and do something.
You say it again?
I said, I know after all of this dies down, we definitely have to get together and do something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But even like taking the time, like, oh, well, my friend, she's far, so I can wait next month or next week or whatever the case may be, instead of like just acting on those things right now.
Yeah, this lady who used to babysit my son, she's my friend's mom, so she watched me when I was younger too, just because I was at her house all the time. But I kept going past her house whenever I would go to town to see, my people. And I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna let her see the baby next time, next time, next time. And then I finally thought about her again, and I called her, and we were talking on the phone. We talked for a long time. I said, oh, I kept coming past your house saying next time, and now who knows when the next time will be. But the people who I have been thinking about that I were kind of pushing off to the side, I definitely reached out and talked to them. And that's why I said, even for me, it was like people were coming out the woodwork. Not that they weren't thinking about me or vice versa. It's just that it takes some things like this to realize that if you don't know when the next time will be. So.
Right. That's true. That is true. I am enjoying the time I'm spending with my family, though. I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely say that.
And even when you take a look at the family you're spending time with, and then the ones who now you're wishing you spent more time with, or it allows you that chance too for families that, big families, a lot of times they argue and stuff more than people care to admit, where, yeah, having a family is a great thing, but it also can be kind of chaotic too sometimes. So this forced quarantine makes families realize how much they love each other and want to stick together and want to see each other around in the long haul,
I think that's how.
One more time.
Good right now, like me and my family have to look out for our survival. So we got to stick together.
Yeah, you got that right.
I'm glad I had my last year too.
Glad what?
I had my son. We had our baby last year.
You said so this year? Girl.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
I said, yeah. So much. It's just because to have that energy while you're pregnant right now, and I know a lot of people are pregnant and they can't help it, but just still just think about this energy in the air that's in the hospitals. Like when my son did his doctor's appointment today over the phone.
That's raw. And
still paired me with the doctor that I put in the note saying not to ever give me again. But whatever, I had to see his face, and he didn't have to touch my son.
That's what's funny though, is because before all this happened, how you just said that, I literally thought about that today, but not about your son, but I bet you they're gonna start doing virtual doctor appointments. So I remember seeing when they had made this new hospital in my town, or my old town. I saw that they were saying that they were doing like virtual. Oh no, it was a sign saying you don't even have to wait in the lobby anymore. Go home, wait for us to call your number, then you can come back up here and you'll be able to walk right through. So basically, to stop the emergency room waiting lobby type of traffic, let you go back home, called you when your spot was open. And
Oh,
I said,
wow.
that's almost like a virtual doctor's appointment, almost. And I'm like, I bet you're going to start doing those soon. And so it was nothing for them to do a virtual appointment with you. And I'm saying nothing because even doing regular Zoom things and stuff like this, people have been getting hacked. Their computers, their information, everything, because the cyber people, that's everything is online right now. You know, if you weren't doing it before, you have to do it now. So people are getting hacked into that. So they have all these different measures, and even things that I've been doing before that are online have even extra measures because they know that you're more vulnerable now to cyber attacks and all that. So why would it be so simple for a doctor now to do a virtual visit when that's the most important type of information that people sue over for leaking it? You know, there's HIPAA laws and everything. So I think they was ready for it. quite frankly, they was ready for it.
And I think it kind of shows how like some of these appointments are like pointless. Not
exactly.
Like if you can't sit over the phone, I can't explain. If you're a doctor, you know your stuff, you're able to explain what's going on, and then you should be able to ask questions like how we do as coach, and to kind of weed out what it is and what it isn't, and get to the bottom of it.
You got that right.
So it was kind of like, okay. And then, I mean, I'm glad I called, and they were like, oh, we're doing virtual phone call appointments. And I was just like, okay, great. Cause that was my thing. I did not want to go in there.
Okay. So they were able to diagnose to your satisfaction over the phone?
I mean, they ruled out that was a little bit that worried me a little bit, but I mean, it's just implemented. It just reminded me, like, keep doing what I'm doing.
Your research?
No, with him, like, you know, I wasn't really like steaming, like being more intentional. Like I used to have him stay in the bathroom and smell the steam with the eucalyptus oil, but now to do it like every night and to, you know, make sure I'm treating him, make sure I'm tending to what he has going on every single night. Cause they said it just still sounds like it's a cold, even though it's been lingering for so long. But you know, just basically tend to it every night. That's what's happening. They're like, it's nothing major that they feel like I should come into. But then they reminded me that he's very behind on his vaccinations. And I need to bring him in for that, especially with what's going on now. I was like, okay, thank you so much for your time. Talk to you later. Now it's easier because I'm not sitting in his face while he's trying to argue with me. I can just hang up the phone. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Doc. Bye. Click. Like, you still trying to get this little bonus, huh?
Girl.
Yeah, but.
Well, yeah, definitely. Stay consistent with it.
Yeah, don't bring him in because you fear that he's not breathing properly, but bring him in for these vaccinations. Like,
and that's what my friend's mom tried to tell me is, can you talk to your friend for me? My friend was like, Ma, she's not gonna do it. She don't think like how you think. I was like, what'd she do? I was just like, you know, talking to her mom. She was like, will you tell her that Black people are getting COVID in disproportional rates, and that it's because they have such poor health and diabetes and stuff, and they're not going to the doctor. What they need to do is go to the doctor and get properly diagnosed so they can start taking medicine and clearing up these things that are wrong with them. And I said, that's not true. It sounds like all the information was reported from the same source. I said, because that doesn't even make sense, because just taking medicine period will lead to more and more side effects, and taking medicine isn't a cure. Taking medicine is just masking your symptoms. So wherever you got that advice from, I said, stop watching it. And she was like, well, the news gives you updates. I said, the news gives a lot of false information too. And she's like, no, it's true. You see, it's true. Y'all walk around like it's not true. I'm not saying that it's not true, but what I'm saying is that the remedy, the solution for it, and even the line of how that's supposed to make sense in your head, how here's what you need to do, then this, and then this, and if you don't, that's why this, and this. They're trying to line that up for you, and that's not true at all. Just stop and think for a second about everything that you know and trace that back to when they started lying to you, because I can't tell my friend that that's what she should do. No, absolutely not. My friend was right. We don't think the same because we're
Right.
thinking, and we're not just getting fed information.
Right. Because we know that the pills aren't the cure, and we know that they don't
Exactly.
operate. The cure is not gonna bring
You.
in income.
It's you.
Like, what's the cure ain't gonna bring in no income. Where it starts from is understanding the root is not gonna bring in. It's not gonna bring continuous income. What will is if I keep drugging you up because I know these drugs is gonna make something else shut down, and that's gonna make you get something else, and that's go. Like I don't. I hate to say it, but I look at people that really believe that everything they learn and everything that they give us in the media has their best interest at heart. I just be like, oh my God.
I call those
You have
100%
that.
downloaded. Huh?
I say you have to. The only person that can have their best interest at heart is you. You have to have your own best interest at heart. Do your own research and make your own changes. These people don't have the best interest at heart. They have their own best interest at heart. And if it comes at the expense of you, so be it. But
Yeah. You have to be able to
that's
love yourself unconditionally. Say it again.
exactly. That's a whole nother rant. But that's what that video with the planets was saying, and the mathematics that I was talking about earlier. They were saying ultimately we are a part of everything that we see. And the bigger problem is not that we don't love each other, is that we don't love ourselves.
Yep.
And once we
And
start
that's why
loving
you
ourselves, love others.
and that's why you said that you have to have your own best interests. You're not going to have that if you don't love yourself. And if
No,
you don't, and you're not gonna love yourself if you don't know yourself. And a lot of things that
exactly.
people are involved in are taking them further and further away from themselves. So it's a
And they don't
hard battle. They don't realize it. But like I said, I call those downloads. I say people like, so how he was saying in the video that that Google is taking our DNA, right? That's interesting because I believe that they are. It's just fact. And even when they're like, scan your eye to open up your phone and stuff. Let me get your fingerprint. No, none of
when
that.
I did that whole
Um,
from India and I knew that app was taking something, especially because Kim Kardashian was pushing it. So I was
and
like,
any actor that's free
right.
are taking information from you. But so and then they're on top of that, they are always recording you and stuff like that. So we already know for the most part that we're always being recorded in some way, shape, or form. But then when we are consciously recording ourselves, we think so much about it where we want to only do it if our hair is like this, or if our makeup is done, or if our nails are done, things like that. But the whole time we're getting recorded anyway. But anyway, so I say people like you and me who have caught on to some of the things, we take steps to remove ourselves from the matrix. um, we still are caught up when we have things like phones to a certain degree, but our phones don't really know us. The social media don't really know us. The AI that they have in place don't really know us because we're not feeding into everything they're doing to get to know us, like the social media and stuff like that, or what all you put on social media, stuff like that. So the ones who are though, their consciousness has been completely taken over for the most part. They're not thinking. They are completely being streamed into
Man,
they're completely being streamed into everything else that has to do with AI. They're able to just pull the conscious away. People like me and you, we're not there all the time, so they don't actually know us. So they try to. Like I wrote something to you one day. I was being completely sarcastic. It gave a wink, and I was like, I deleted it. I didn't ask for you to put that emoji in there. No, and I get it. You're understanding my language now.
right.
We're detected by things like when we argue with doctors about we're not vaccinating our child, or when they finally take our blood and stuff like that. Ours is going to look completely different from other people's that is being ran against. So they're going to be able to pick out people like us, but we're not completely downloadable yet because they still don't know much about us. And I was
Just
talking about that on video, and as I was, it started circling my face like that. And I said, oh, that's that shit right there. And I took it off.
Oh, that low.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a loading. I was recording a video on my phone, like recording myself. But you know how I tried to get like your face in the frame? So it started doing that, like right when I was talking about that. And I was like, that's it right there. Like they're going to notice us when they take our sample, whenever we have to go into the emergency room or whatever, when we're pregnant, whatever the case may be. They're going to notice us because our inside, our genetic makeup is going to be getting different or just different from other people's. And then our children too, as well. And they're going to find out how much data or not that they have on ours. And that's what's going to trigger it too.
Right. But you know, right now people are like willingly giving up information. Like this girl tagged me in a challenge on Facebook, and it was like, name the last 4 places you went. Name the last 4 places you went. Name the fast food. And then I wrote and I commented like, and it was like, tag the 4 people that you think will be would make this game fun. I was tagged, and I commented, and I was like, I don't like to disclose certain information about myself. I can't even post my son's pictures and feel like, and I don't ever leave them up there. I always take them down. Like I'm not comfortable with leaving them up. And then she just liked it. And I know she was kind of just like, girl, please. Like it's just a game. Right. And I see it going on all the time where people are just disclosing so much about their personal information. Like, do you not understand that some of the passcodes be like, where was the last place you visited?
Girl. Yep.
Like, where was the last place you lived? That's definitely one of these.
First car.
And I'm just sitting there like,
you know why?
So damn sleep.
I look at it like that's because it seems like trivial information. Like, who cares if they know what my favorite food is? But that's going to be able to be downloaded into what their version of you can be. So if they're going to represent you some way, somehow in the future through AI consciousness, this is her. You're going to understand glitches when you see the glitches because it's not. You're going to, if you know that person. But if you're one of those people who you give everything up like that, like Akili has a either her or the Ubango kids. They all assist me. But they have a digital footprint episode where they break down that. You should see it if you haven't seen it. But they talk about like a girl was doing like a survey online or something like that. Like it asked her password and then it asked these questions to lead up to it. But they were being told that, you know, everything you answer online is a digital footprint. It's tracking it back to you where people can actually figure out who you are or make up a file about you because you're giving all this information out. So it did it in so many different ways. You could do it electronically, but I thought it was raw. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I like it, Keely. But yeah, so people like you and me, we're not 100% downloadable. So we're not going to just, even if they have the nanotext and stuff inside of you, if you're still resistant in some way to what they're doing, it's not going to work right unless they're able to get all the information on you. That's how I look at it. So people who aren't thinking right now, they are just naturally attracted to it and going to keep going there until they break out of it. But some other people, they don't have everything they need yet.
They don't. And I'm going to make this comment and then I'm going to try to go to bed real quick.
Sleepy.
I am. I'm very sleepy because, you know, I'll be sleeping. But Phil has a video called Puzzle Piece. The Puzzle Piece Effect. And you should watch it. But it's basically saying whenever everybody's trying to fit into this puzzle piece, but they're not even the right piece. And they think just because the top part of the puzzle piece fit into this little section, that they'll just stay in this section even though the rest of them don't fit. Where they need to find the place that their puzzle piece actually fit on all sides. So he was saying, whenever you are that puzzle piece that don't fit, but you force yourself to fit, you will show up as a person who has low self-esteem, has no drive. Eventually, it's going to basically strip you of an identity, of your identity that you used to have. You're not going to be in tune with that. So then you're going to be so shaky, basically, in your walk as the person that you're trying to be, because that's not who you are. So then you're going to lose confidence in yourself. You're going to have low self-esteem. You're not going to have any drive, and you're going to become stagnant and basically not a free thinker. And I think about that, and I'm just like, majority of these people, this is how they live their life.
Yeah.
A lot of people are inauthentic, and they've created inauthentic lives that they're trying to present as if this is what really truly resonates with them. And to think when you're in phase, so many people have like popped up in my head, like damn, that's Penelope, that's what's, and then I started thinking about them and how they show up, and like, damn, they do show up with low self-esteem, they do show up with low drive. And then I started thinking like, damn, and they are completely believing everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's literally our authenticity, and I think our authenticity is wired within our DNA as well, and that's why they're trying to bring inauthentic pieces in our code so that we can never really understand our true self and take away our freedom.
That's what you were saying earlier, is who the hell are we for them to be trying to do all this? If we only knew what power we hold.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, sleepy lady.
Have a great night. I will talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. Hey, my phone was